Hey peeps and poops, welcome to Searching in Fearless Tarot. Today's reading is going to be for Cancer, Pisces, and Libra. So let's see what astrological energies you're working with right now. The song that I got in my head was James Blake. It's called Retrograde. Gemini in the 9th house. Gemini in the 9th house. Some of you guys are becoming unafraid of who you are. I feel like I'm talking to people who know that they've had a greater purpose their entire lives, but finally they're coming into it and they're getting comfortable enough to be who they are. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have everybody on your side though. And so it's a little bit jarring coming into this. It's a little bit jarring having to expand your worldview. It's a little bit jarring that your world has been completely flipped upside down because of who you are. Spirit's with you right now, trying to help you keep balance and recovering after a period of trying to heal from your old relationships, trying to heal from the past and trying to heal from the mistakes that you've made, forgiving yourself. You're coming in as the King of Wands, okay? And mind you, gender doesn't really matter. King of Wands is like, to me, someone who is not necessarily single, but someone who is expressing themselves, who isn't afraid to express themselves, who isn't afraid to start that business, who isn't afraid to be charming or helpful or loving. And sometimes that can be really difficult right now, especially in the world that we're in. You know, a lot of people are triggered. But you're staying true to your shine. You're staying true to who you are, regardless of what people think around you. A lot of you guys have seen injustices for the majority of your life. Like a lot of you have been around people who have been narcissistic. You've been around people who are liars, people who are control-seeking. And for a lot of you, for the majority of your life, you just thought this is the way that life goes and I have to go abide by these rules or I'm never going to fit in or I'm never going to find someone that I belong with, you know? It was like you silenced yourself in order to feel comfortable, in order to survive, is what I'm hearing. Some of you could have settled for partners that really weren't your cup of tea, but you had such low self-esteem that you thought, okay, you know, this person is nuts about me and they're going to keep me safe. Some of you have come from trauma and abuse when you were younger. And that doesn't necessarily mean physical abuse. That can also be verbal abuse. People making you feel small, and you got used to that. And so I think in this last year or so, you've awakened to that truth. You've awakened to how small you've been keeping yourself out of safety because of the traumas that have happened to you when you were younger. You could be feeling stagnant and like the people around you are fighting with you or competing with you, or there's a lot of tension. But you're still looking towards the future and you're still taking it one day at a time. Some of you could be recovering alcoholics or be around recovering alcoholics. What's this Five of Wands? Some people, you could have some people trying to hold you back as well, because you're so dramatically different than what you were before. A lot of you guys could be in between worlds right now is what I'm feeling. I feel like you've stepped off of one plane and you're waiting to enter the next. And the choices that have come to you don't really make your heart sing, and that can be really frustrating. Maybe a lot of you had expectations that once you stepped off that old plane, it would be, sorry, someone's calling me. Once you step off that old plane, it would be, you know, you would step onto that new plane and everything would be gravy. But it seems to me like you've had this period of healing, like you needed this period of contemplation. So don't feel like nothing's ever going to happen or that you were wrong. You weren't wrong. It's just that there are certain things that you're meant to go through first. A lot of you guys could be feeling anxiety right now. Some of you could be going through court cases, or you could have been through a really traumatic event. This could be a breakup, or this could be This could be your like breaking away from your family or a partner or a best friend. Breaking away from what you know is what I'm hearing. The end of story. Like breaking away from the patterns that you've known your entire life. There's a lot of anxiety over this. A lot of people could have left you in the dark or left you out in the cold because they didn't agree with the choices that you were making. But you're still manifesting this. For some of you, if you're obsessing over justice with a person, or you want this person to feel as bad as you did, or you want to see this person in pain because of what they did to you, you're burning out from that. You're burning out from that. If you're feeling that, not all of you are feeling that, but if you're feeling that, you need to take a second look at that and understand what karma means, because karma isn't about tit for tat, okay? Karma isn't about that. We all have our own soul purposes in this life. We all have our own direction that we're meant to go in. And sometimes those directions dramatically change, you know, depending on how this person handled the situation. But karma is when you're veering off your path. Karma is when you're veering off into something that you're not supposed to be, and then something in life stops you, okay? So, for example, like, you could see this person thriving and wondering to yourself, why isn't it happening? Why aren't they anxious? Why aren't they this? Why aren't they that? But you're not meant to be focusing on this person. You are not meant to be focusing on this person's destiny or karma. You're meant to be focusing on your own. And the more that you focus on your own, you might worry that you're not going to see this, you know, see whatever happens to this person, or, but you have to trust in the process. You have to trust in what's happening. You have to trust that your adversaries and your enemies and all of that is coming along so that you can learn these lessons. And really what the most important part for you to do right now is just to show up. Just to show up with an open mind and do the best you can. Because you're not meant to be a master in what you're walking into right now. You're not meant to know it all. You know, you're meant to walk through this blind. A lot of you are understanding the false ways that you were living your life before all of this awakening happened. With the Nine of Cups, I'm not necessarily feeling like excessive drinking or smoking, where some of you, it could be that. But for most of you, it was just, you wanted so badly to be happy because everybody else wanted you to be happy. Maybe you had the picket fence, maybe you had the 2 kids, maybe you had all of this and you realized that that wasn't the life for you and that you wanted something different. Or maybe you were hiding behind things and you were only going after money to seek your happiness. Either way, that's ending. And you're learning how to be yourself. You're learning how not to give a fuck what other people's wants and needs for you are. Because I feel like I'm talking to somebody who's hid behind other people's intentions for them. And that's a really painful realization to come to. Right now, if you are by yourself and you are trying to accrue truth and you're doing the best that you can to operate, then you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're at where you're supposed to be at. You're meant to find answers. Things will move forward into the future. They will. The answers will come. But there's a need for patience and to accept that sometimes we need to be in our feminine energy. When I say feminine energy, I just mean receptive energy. I mean that you're letting the answers come to you. You're letting the people that are supposed to be attracted to you to accumulate these experiences come to you. All you're meant to do is show up. All you're meant to do is to go after what your heart goes after. When I say that, I'm not meaning obscure things. I'm meaning, like, let's say you're into essential oils, right? And you start a group and you go into a Facebook group about essential oils, and then you start getting really close with some of these people inside of that group. And then they start giving you tidbits and knowledge and all of these things. It's like every little thing that you do throughout the day, even if it's going to the store, be open and receptive to someone coming up to you, because it's probably fated at that point. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to go into advice, and then we'll do guidance cards. Keep finding clarity. Keep doing you. Keep moving forward. You've got this. I promise. I promise. I know it doesn't feel like you have it right now. I feel a lot of unsurety. I'm feeling a lot of self-confidence issues in your voice, but this is what you're rising above. And I promise you, just walk every day in the most honest, best way you can. And you can't do wrong. If you do that and you show up and you have an open heart, you can't do wrong. You're meant to walk away from this inner judgment of yourself. You're meant to be who you truly are. And I know it's scary because it might feel like a lot of people are giving you the side eye or unhappy with your changes in movement. But most of these people, if they walked away from you, or they're unhappy with the changes that you're making in life, it's their choice. It's their choice. And unfortunately, it's hard, but it's not meant. It's not meant to be. Those people don't resonate with you anymore. You're not meant to hide behind people anymore. You're meant to be who you are. And stop worrying about all of the noise outside, to worry about the noise that's going on in here, the noise that you've been ignoring for a long, long time. And you're well on your way. A lot of you guys have already started this journey, and I'm just confirming that you're on the right path. A lot of you guys. So don't think I think I'm Mama Bear here or something. Really, you know in your heart of hearts. And it's time for you to believe in yourself. It's time. Just by being here, just by being on this earth, you deserve happiness. You deserve experience. You deserve people who love you. Your voice deserves to be heard. I promise. You're not alone. You're not alone. And if you feel like there's not a lot of people around you that are like you or that you resonate with right now, I totally understand. But I promise you, experiences will show you that you are meant for this. If you're watching this reading and you've gotten to this point, you're meant for this, my friend. You're not alone. I love you guys. Okay. Let's do guidance cards. Oh, before I forget, for the 15th bazillionth time, thank you for all the likes, shares, subscribes. Thank you for all of the love you bring my way. I appreciate you. Okay. Libra. What does Libra need to know? What does Libra need to know at this time? Clean it up, reversed. Libra, is it possible you may be focusing too much on other people right now? Trying too hard to be helpful? Does taking on what belongs to others make you feel needed or desired? Perhaps you think it's your calling to relieve people of their burdens, but what is the cost to you and to them? Don't clean up someone else's side of the street. You're not helping by freeing him or her of responsibility. You're also not doing yourself any favors, and you just might be adding an even greater strain. You are loved as you are. You don't need to be needed to be loved. Man, I feel you on that, Libra. I do. That's a really, really hard... I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys trigger me, and I'm well aware that it's not because you guys are lame at all. It's because it's my own wounds that are being triggered. And I understand the need to be needed to be loved. I get it. But you're better than that. And it's going to take some time to clear up those codependent tendencies, just like it's taking me time. But we'll get there. I have belief. I have faith that we're going to get there. that we're not going to always feel like we need to do everything for everybody else in order for us to be seen or heard. That's no place to be, Libra. I love you. You're better than that. Okay. Cancer, unfinished symphony. 10. Cancer. Moving on is difficult when love lingers. Things are left unsaid and you haven't had the opportunity for closure in your relationship and in your heart. You can still feel bound up in relationships when closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have that conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept matters as they are, make amends if need be, and declare your feelings even if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved and close the door on the past so you can set yourself free. Only then can new love blossom. And I believe in this. I really do. I've seen it for myself with an ex. We broke up. He had pretty narcissistic tendencies. We broke up in not the greatest of fashion. I definitely wasn't an angel. 2 years later, he couldn't find anybody else. And I'm not convinced it was because it was me. I'm not convinced that he didn't find anybody else because I was the love of his life and No, I'm not convinced of that. What I'm convinced of is that he still harbored resentment towards me. He still harbored resentment for the relationship, how the relationship ended. While once we broke up, I was very clear about what I needed to heal, you hear that? I was very clear on what I needed to heal and what parts of me were broken and what I did wrong in the relationship. And I worked on that for, 6 or 7 months after we broke up. And it was a really difficult period for me, but I knew I had to do it. If I wanted to find true love, if I wanted to find a partner that was going to make me happy, and I wasn't just going to be closed off to love and, randomly having these partners that don't, not that they don't matter, but you know what I mean, meaningful relationships, right? And I moved on. And 2 years later, he said that to me. He said, I haven't found anybody like you. And it's not that I was particularly special, but I feel like, and I am special in my own way, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like it was resentment. I feel like it was because he held resentment in his heart over what happened in the relationship. And it's important. I truly believe that when you break up with somebody, regardless of whether you get closure or not, that there is a need to find that closure within yourself in any way you can. It's important to find someone new. If you're harboring resentment and you're trying to date new people because of the past, there's going to be trust issues in the relationship. I keep going on and on, but I'm a Cancer, and these are the things that go on in my head when I think about not having closure, when I think about past experiences that have carried me through. And I'm not special for healing that. I'm not special for after that breakup needing to heal or anything like that. It's just something that I observed. That's all. Okay, Pisces. Peace in reverse, 23. Pisces, now is the time for calmness and well-being in spite of temporary conditions. Even if there are dissonant notes in the music of your life, all that means is that you must go within and fine-tune the extraordinary instrument that you are. Find harmony within yourself and don't look to the outer world to provide certainty. This too shall pass, and once again your life will be filled with beautiful music. I like that. I also feel like some of you Pisces are coming into meditation and doing that more often. And I can tell you that works wonders for me. That really, really helps me to observe my life, because a lot of the lessons that I've had to navigate in this last year and a half, I've had to be very, very careful and very cognizant of how I'm reacting and what I've done to cause this situation, to be able to take accountability for what I need to take accountability for. So I hope this helps you. I love you. I'm sending you guys nothing but good love. Thank you for all the likes, shares, subscribes, and the music will be at the bottom of the video for you. Bye.